Hey there, it's Mastin Kipp, and I'm so excited to be with you today. You know, when I talk to a lot of my clients, people from all over the world, people on our newsletter, people on social media, Facebook, you name it, Instagram, there's a through line, which is common for all human beings, of not feeling good enough. So maybe you don't feel good enough to start a business, you don't feel good enough to be in a relationship, you don't feel good enough to accept a compliment, you don't feel good enough to earn more money. There's a feeling of not feeling good enough. And people always ask me, Mastin, how do I feel better? How do I feel like I'm actually enough? And a lot of times they're expecting me to give them a specific type of advice or encouragement that says, you know what, don't worry about it, you are enough. But after working with tens of thousands of people, I actually have some counterintuitive advice for you about what to do when you don't feel good enough. And at first it might seem strange or odd or negative, but trust me that this process works. So just be open, because I'm gonna give you some advice you maybe haven't heard before. And so this might be a shock to the system. It might be a surprise. It might seem like I'm giving you bad advice, but just be open. All right, you promise? Okay, great. So here we go. My advice to you is that when you're not feeling good enough is to say, you know what? I'm not enough. And you might think to yourself, Mastin, that's crazy talk. Why would I ever admit to myself that I'm not enough? Because then all of a sudden I'm speaking negativity into my life. I'm speaking smallness into my life. Well, here's the thing. When you acknowledge how you feel, then all of a sudden you stop resisting it. So you can say, I'm not enough, I don't feel enough. And what's true is when you're operating that lower self that's angry, depressed, sad, fearful, contracted, that limbic system of fight or flight state, that survival pattern state that we call it, you almost come into this like survival pattern or fear nightmare where all you see is not being enough. And when you're in that state, this is the most important thing to remember. Not feeling enough means that you are disconnected from your higher power. So it means that you're disconnected from the wisdom within you. You're disconnected from God, source, spirit, the universe, whatever you believe in. There's a higher power that's living you, that's breathing you, that's supporting you, that's uplifting you, that's here to push you forward, and that's showering synchronicities into your life, that is full of nothing but love and grace for you. And when you feel like you're not enough, you are disconnected from that source through fear, through trauma, through constriction, through contraction, through tension in the body, through a limiting belief or a survival pattern that you have. And so your job is to first identify and admit that you're feeling that way, and make it your conscious intention to connect back to your higher power. So I'm not here to tell you what to believe or who to believe in. So this isn't, a specific religious doctrine, but it is true that human beings need to feel connected to a power greater than them. I'll give you an example. I want you to think about yourself like you're a drop in the ocean. And let's say that you dream of one day being a great wave. Well, if you're all disconnected and by yourself, you as that one drop cannot be a wave. But if the drop joins the ocean, then the drop can be a part of a massive wave, which is a power greater than it. So think of your higher power in that same way. If you're not experiencing the abundance that you want, or if you're feeling stressed out, or if you're feeling powerless, if you're not getting the results in your life, it's because you're disconnected from that power, and that resistance is what pushes away what you really want. So the more that you can admit that you don't feel like you're enough, the more that you can make conscious effort to connect to a power greater than you, it's a game changer. So some of the great ways I love to connect to a power greater than me would be Kundalini Yoga. It's an incredible process to get your energy right and your breath right. Breathing techniques, any form of yoga is really powerful. Kundalini, I believe, is the most powerful. EMDR, meditation, prayer, going to church, going to a synagogue, going to a mosque, going to nature, being in a place that takes your mind off of it. It might be the ocean or the forest or the trees. It doesn't really matter. Whatever it takes for you to find that center, to find that power within you, and then surrender and make it your prayer be, dear God, dear source, dear higher power, dear universe, I'm feeling not enough. Please be with me. Please support me. Please help me know that I'm not alone. And your job, once you've uttered that prayer, is to see everything that happens from that moment forward as an answer to your prayer. You can't interpret the signals of the divine for the divine. Your job is to decide that everything that happens once you surrender is an answer to that prayer. So, in some strange way, admitting that you're not enough, admitting that that's how you feel, and connecting to a power greater than you is how you have enough. Because here's what's true. Your confidence comes from knowing that you're connected to a power greater than you. That power greater than you, no one's bank account is deeper. That power greater than you, no one has a better Rolodex than that power. The power greater than you is perfectly organizing your life in ways that you can't even consciously understand at this very moment, because it's not inside your, your human nature to actually understand it, because you're in present time. The divine God, source, spirit, universe knows the answer to your problem before you ever have the problem, and the solution is already there. So the more you surrender, the more you connect back to a power greater than you, the more you calm that limbic system, the more you calm down the nervous system, the more options will be available to you, and you'll see as always, that the answer is right at your fingertips, right at your feet. You were just too scared to look down. So today, how can you admit that you feel like you're not enough? How can you admit that you feel powerless? How can you surrender that control to a power greater than you and connect back to that source, that spirit, that universe, that God, that loving divine intelligence? What is your plan? Because we want to really take action and make it real here. This isn't something that we just want to think about for a moment in time. We want to actually put it into action. So what are you going to do today to connect back to that power greater than you? And when you do, that's how you find your confidence. As always, this is Mastin Kipp saying, I love you. Thank you for watching. Remember to get out there, take action, and make it real. We'll see you soon.